Elizabeth, actually,
I'm begging you.
I wish.
Louis, we need to talk.
Looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do? Sorry, Emily, but I can't leave Elizabeth like this. All right, Elizabeth. How can I help?
Thank you. Come on, follow me. I really need to talk to you, Louis, right now.
Does Lord Mortimer know the mess you've made of your room?
Listen to me, damn it! My days are numbered.
Elizabeth, I don't know if it's about my mother again, but I'm telling you, you've nothing to be afraid of. She didn't come here for you.
I saw her.
Saw who? You saw my mother? When?
Just last night. I went out to walk along the cliff top and I saw her in the distance. She tried to hide right away, but I'm sure it was her.
Are you saying you recognized my mother in the middle of the night while she was hiding?
Yes, Louis, I know it was her.
You just said she was far away, right? In the middle of the night. And the exterior of the island isn't exactly well lit.
Listen, I'm telling you it was her.
She doesn't hesitate on her answers. She's not trembling. She's really convinced of what she's seen. Did you talk to each other?
No, she was far away. I didn't make any noise, and then she was gone.
Have you told anyone you've seen her? Sir Holmes? Mortimer?
You don't understand. It's her. She's here.
Yes, I understand.
No, you're not listening. The moment I saw her, I was overcome by spasms. She's here. I'm telling you, it was her. Yes, I need something to calm me down.
No thanks, I'd better not.
Listen, if you want me to tell you everything, you have to drink with me, Louis. What I have to say to you is of the utmost importance.
I'll drink with you, but let's go easy on it, okay? I don't know where she gets her rot gut from, but frankly, it's disgusting.
You know, Louis, when I came here, it was in the hope of getting help. I've only just now realized that I've been drawn here into a trap.
Whoa, the alcohol's gone to my head.
Надо было не пить. Вечно проблемы с бухающими тянками.
Here, the condemned's last drink.
Elizabeth, alcohol never solves anything. I'm gonna stop now.
Listen up. You want to know what your mother was capable of, right? You want to know the reason why. Well, you're gonna have to follow me to the bottom of the abyss, Louis. Either drink or get out.
Man,
Ладно.
I need to take it easy with the booze. At this rate, it won't last the night. Let's go easy on the drinking, okay? Alcohol won't solve our problems. Ugh, the second one isn't any easier.
So, do you want to know why she did all those things to me or not? Even if it changes the image you have of her forever?
What was she trying to cure you of then?
Of the one illness she never managed to treat me for.
Come on, Elizabeth. We have to finish what we started.
Окей.
I feel all dizzy. There must have been a reason. Just tell me. Tell me what my mother treated you for.
She wanted to silence them.
What? What are you talking about? Silence what?
The voices. The voices in my head. They speak to me, Louis. They've always told me what to do. They say nasty things to me.
Elizabeth, are you saying that spirits talk to you?
You're right. Sometimes there are several voices. How did you know?
Потому что ты
No,
ебанутая, я просто
listen,
хорошо
I don't know
воспитан.
anything. I'm just repeating what you said.
They want me. Want me just for themselves. They talk to me all the time. Yet your mother did everything to make them go away. Ever since I was little. And look at the result.
It's impossible, Mother. You spent your life trying to prove that the supernatural doesn't exist. Why punish this poor
Здорово.
girl? Oh, shit. What has she done?
Это
Uh-oh, Louis. Are you
тётка,
starting to
которая
believe
думает,
me?
что с ней говорят
but
голоса.
Too bad it's all been for nothing. They're still there, you know.
What do you mean? They're still talking to you?
All the time. Despite everything Sarah put me through, I still hear them.
И потом, как она
And here I
нажирается,
am on
я
a
не
lost
удивлен.
island, knowing that no one knows me, and I find myself here at the exact same time as her. You see? You understand? You sense it too. I'm going to die here. I beg you, tell me you believe me.
Да,
I'm here,
конечно.
Elizabeth.
Нужно все время соглашаться с пьяной тёлкой, тогда тебя
And I do
дадут.
believe you.
Thank you, Louis.
Опыт из прошлого.
You know, despite what people might think, I'm not crazy.
My God, Elizabeth, how's this possible?
Согласен,
Welcome to
согласен.
my world, little Louis. Welcome to my life.
Elizabeth, the whole story stinks of death. If I were you, I'd have left the moment you heard me speak about my mother. I don't know if she knows you're here, but if I had any doubt, I wouldn't take the risk.
Yeah,
Но я сейчас
You're
пытаюсь,
right.
Митяй.
I can't stay here another minute. I need to get the hell out of here. I need to find a boat and get away. I'm not dying here.
I feel so dizzy.
You like my little concoction, don't you? That's rare.
What?
It no longer has any effect on me. But my guests generally don't appreciate me mixing alcohol with laudanum.
А, так она еще нарк.
What? You put laudanum in my drink?
In both. Don't worry, my little Louis. We'll sink down to the bottom together.
Oh man, I feel like puking. I really feel like shit. I gotta get back.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm here now. I'll take good care of you, and then I'll leave.
Don't touch me. Just leave. If I get up, I'll fall.
А, дурак, ему.
Little Louis tired.
И бланк
Leave
последний.
everything to me. Just let go.
Неудачи, я выпил с Элизабет. Бля, да, я помню эту историю. Жаль, что этим парнем был не я, как говорится. Так. Так, ну, вторая глава.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Витя, как ты
Without your mother,
дешево себя продаешь.
hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Выберите манускрипт для чтения. Логика, психология, эрудиция. Ну, психология.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. Unfortunately, I am now confronted with another problem, which I would rather have done without. You see, last night, Miss Adams also went missing.
And why is that? Can you tell me more?
I have had my people searching for her all over the island. Alas, to no avail. It so happens that both her mental and her physical health are extremely fragile. I'm worried that the same thing happened to her as to your mother. Also, I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me what you were doing on the floor in her room in the early hours
It's
of
quite
the
normal.
morning.
I can explain everything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. You see, Sir Gregory is about to arrive, and he's taken Elizabeth's disappearance very, very seriously. Please, reassure him so that we can talk about your mother.
William, I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
Let's step outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
Что это за посвистывание? Нет,
Better not make
подожди.
myself look more suspicious than I already do.
Не доверяй этому попугаю. Он настучит на меня.
Good evening, Monsieur de Richet.
Likewise, Sir Gregory.
Well then, let us begin.
Gregory, Louis told me we needn't be concerned.
Of course. Monsieur de Richet, the situation seems to escape your grasp, so I won't beat about the bush. Did you kill Elizabeth Adams?
What are you talking about? I only helped her. We talked and she wanted to leave. I imagine that's what she did, right?
We have found no trace of her leaving, monsieur. So allow me to have my doubts.
Nor have we found any reason to believe that Louis is lying. We must remain calm, Gregory. We have found no evidence that would suggest that Elizabeth has been murdered. For the time being, she has only disappeared. Let's stick to the facts, if you please.
Well, where is she then?
Technically, I'm simply incapable of telling you where she might be. And we never talked about her destination. What I can say is that the last time I saw Elizabeth, she was in her room. And she just decided to leave the island.
Gregory, you must admit that just because Louis doesn't know where Elizabeth is, does not prove that something's happened to her.
Damnation, William. This is a fiasco. Sir, you don't seem to realize just how serious this is.
Let's try and remain calm, Gregory. In any case, it would be far better if Elizabeth really has left the island, as Louis says. Why do you think she wanted to leave?
She was terrorized by my mother's presence here. Just the thought of coming face to face with her was unbearable.
Did she tell you why?
Yes, she brought the subject up.
I'm sorry, Louis. It couldn't have been easy to hear.
For your sake, I sincerely hope that she got there safely. Monsieur de Richet, I apologize if my words seemed a little abrupt. I dare not think what would happen if Elizabeth came across your mother on the island. Your generosity may well cost you dearly.
I understand, my lord. I certainly regret it.
You don't need us for any of this. So come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Так.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
I'd like to answer the cat, but unfortunately I'm increasingly worried that she's in fact the mouse.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities and yours in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far. Yet he told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to reach an understanding.
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean. He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having the support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much.
Когда у тебя мамка
In this way,
шпион,
you'll be able to keep
ЖПК.
your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
If only my mother trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Boulder, and myself.
It seems you're close friends. What can you tell me about Sir Gregory?
Gregory? Oh, he's one of those cantankerous old men who hates losing at chess. He's a little eccentric and rather conservative. I'm sure you've met the type.
Well, actually, I don't judge people on how they look.
And you do well not to. What with his manner of continuing to wear makeup as he does, Gregory often gives off an unhealthy image. The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
Так.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the introduction of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production
Я
in
немножко
the United
переиграл
States.
последнюю вчерашнюю сцену. Я не
It will
пошел
revolutionize the world.
в герцогине, а пошел в
The
комнату
potential of this
Адамс.
invention is much
Она
greater.
меня напоила вопивной
Tomorrow,
настойкой
all
и
industries
свалила
will be switching to simple but
из особняка.
large-scale
И вот
production
теперь я тоже
of
все
that,
ищу.
I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the
Да,
Crusades.
это вот белая
It was
тетка.
her favorite subject.
Она сказала, что она общается с
Sarah and I
голосами.
spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are
Блин, там
worse things to worry about
новый
now, Louis.
Star Wars продают за 3500.
Since
Сильно
you
вообще
disappeared,
охренеть.
your mother has been seen
3,5.
Her behavior on the evening
я
of your
ебу.
arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on. That means my vision on the wharf, it was
Да-да-да, вот
actually
я и
happening
жду
inside the
версию
manor.
Гога.
Mother shot
Так
Emily's
сказать.
sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that? Excuse me. But between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
One last thing, although I don't know if there is a connection.
I'm listening.
A gate was forced the other night near the wharf. Nothing serious, just a few small things damaged.
Sorry, my lord, but I was searching for leads to my mother. I thought I was hot on her trail and didn't take any precautions.
Well, you could have reported it to a servant. But never mind. I shall put it down to your ardor and anxiety. However, please try to respect my estate in future.
I certainly will. Please.
Там ржавая дверь была, чувак. Чё ты?
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Так, он сказал upstairs. У него кладовая сверху.
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Так, кого здесь можно скоммуниздить?
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too.
Блин, не
Paul
игра, а
facing
просто
ordeal,
экскурсия в
curtains of
Третьяковку.
his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his
Где,
Savior.
блядь, нужно будет найдите как раз таки китайцев. Поток поубавился. Возможно, даже попаду. Так.
What is this disc? Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic.
Магнит.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be?
Наверняка
What could
ваши.
she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Так, ну вроде тут все. Ну, следующий.
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Времени.
We'll see if it works.
IQ стример.
It's open.
Сказать, вот в нее довольно-таки интересно играть.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Сюжет хорош. Не знаю насчет удобно ли ее интересно смотреть. Ну,
The drawing of
играть
the
ее
Apostle Matthew,
прикольно.
painted by Guido Reni,
Здорово,
is
Петрис.
represented as writing the word
Да,
of the Lord,
ходяка не такой.
transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. The New
Да, это
Testament.
детектив с мистикой.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Евангелие. И
St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's apostles, when we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible.
последний. И
This volume dates from the first edition of Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. The pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible. This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
да. Согласен.
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Так, кто-то их трогал.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Reni.
Борделя пока не было. Но я уже один раз напился вискаря с опиумной настройкой. Так, кстати. И, возможно, потерял свою девственность.
Amber crystals.
Так.
Honey. I couldn't have hoped for better.
Так, что-то здесь есть с этой книгой точно связано.
St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's
Yes, Lord.
apostles, when we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible.
Так, Иоанн Богослов.
Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Да, согласен. Так, найти зацепки.
And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha.
Судя по количеству слуг, смотрите, здесь все нормально. Так.
And a voice came out of the throne, saying, Praise our God, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great.
Так, может, я не тот стих читаю? Пробуем самый первый.
Saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, and riches, and wisdom, and strength, and honor, and glory, and blessing.
Так, не этот стих.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
Голос ангела.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Вот я и боюсь, что дальше что-то... Здесь крутится версия вокруг какой-то старинной книги, которую захотят получить. Так, что там по журналу?
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the apostles by...
А это как раз которая нас опоила опиумом и свалила.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Так. Ну вот. Вот ангел. Да. Так. Еще раз.
A drawing of the Apostle
Апостол
Matthew,
Матфей.
painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Ищем Матвея. Матвей.
Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. But Jesus turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore.
Так, что ж такое?
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
У меня все есть, прочитал. Прочел.
Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father which is in heaven.
Окей.
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. Now, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul
Это просто
must be
капитан
somewhere,
очевидность.
and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with
Бесполезно
the
и
figure
больше не
11.
пользоваться этими догадками.
What's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Так, Павел, Пиня к Римлянам.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather
Эх, потратил
through
только 2 очка
salvation
действия
is come into the
на
Gentiles,
бесполезные
for to
подсказки.
provoke them to jealousy. Oh, wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Мало, самый молодой апостол.
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle.
Да ты что?
Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni.
Это Иоанн. Так, там было написано 1.3, да? Один восемь, 5,
I guess I'll just come back later.
Ладно.
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle. That was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John. That's right, St. John is often credited with writing about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. He's also known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
2-4, может быть. Или 4.
Now, there is a Jerusalem by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? I and my Father are one. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Так.
S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note. There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Так, потратим все.
Group of pilgrims, if I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
Шесть и 7. То есть Павел. Коринфянам.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Так. Шесть. Изучить раму.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
Изучить окружение.
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Да.
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust.
Ага.
8 in all.
6, 8 или 8, 6. Это Павел, да? Так, Павел, филиппинцы, нет, евреи. А, точно, евреи.
But
Там же ж на
that
иврите.
which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's see tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Так, единственная картина, которую я еще не смотрел, это видео вот это вот.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Так, ну это нужно явно в Apostles. Вот какой номер, у меня тупо не хватает очков действия, чтобы это изучить, так что будем перебором. Евангелие апостолов.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Не то.
And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew and chief of the priests which did so. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance.
Оно.
Hey,
Говорится, перебор работает.
a message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? I'm guessing it's a metaphor.
Ну, конечно.
I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Так, окей. Проблема в том, что нету... эта часть хотя бы закончилась. Я не понял послание матушки. Речка. Окей. На что мы их можем потратить? Можем вкачать языкознание. Можем вкачать политику. Плевание. Свет. И политику. Окей. Так. Логика. Пицца. Блин, все ты дали. Очко действия. Так, луке. Я не хочу со всеми встречаться. Я хочу лутать их комнаты. Он мне запретит, а? Не теряй.
Sur Jacques Perru.
Закрыто. Кто-то подметает.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duke Manuel Godoy.
Давайте мне залутать кого-нибудь. О, книжка. Где взять?
Huh, that's me.
И туда тоже нельзя. Обожаю людей.
His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Видимо, песос меня никто не залутать. Нелинейности, к сожалению, в этой игре не завезли. Так.
Monsieur Johann van Vulne.
Ну погнали, чувак.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Здорово, Карха. Почему ты так думаешь? Играл в нее? Пока довольно интересно. Малая гостиная. У совы. Кстати, как она поживает? Я 300 лет у нее не был на стримах.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
Я видел
have
ее
news
фоточки
about
из
your sister.
Египта.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Хотел
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the order gives
похвалить
her access to a
ее
good deal of personal
задницу,
information.
но потом подумал,
Must
что
have been Emily's
она не оценит этого.
vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay. If mother's really killed her sister, I'd better find her by myself. They say they spent a lot of time together. They got along well.
Oh, really? Do you think your mother liked Duchess Hillsborough?
Of course she did. After all, she's your sister. Well, we'll find them, Emily.
Что,
Trust
даже
me.
на стримах у нее не сидишь теперь?
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge. I better keep that to myself for the time being.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends.
Ты не играл
Calm down. Everyone seems to be a
в
little
Apex в новую карту?
unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
И как тебе новая?
And what has Mr. Peru done to once again provoke someone's anger?
We don't really know just yet.
I get the feeling it won't be long before it gets out.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely,
иногда хочется
in the
что-нибудь
middle
такое
of the
поиграть
Place de
в
la
стрелялку,
Revolution in Paris, by decree of
при
the
том,
National
чтобы
Convention,
не думать
which
вообще ни о
Monsieur Peru
чем.
works for,
И наука такая
King
CSGO,
Louis
и орех
was
приходит.
guillotined. What? The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear.
Норм. Окей, я только стримы глядел. Там вроде да, там даже как-то больше динамичности стало.
Let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous. Bastard. He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for 1 vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
Кстати, видел карту, что новый этот самый
He was the highest
Season будет стоить 3,5К в Steam, это обычный.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to
Deluxe
manage the
edition
conflicts
по
of our
пятерку.
nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
Я аж охренел с таких
I fully
расценок.
agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom
Lost
do I have the
Ark? Блин, да
pleasure
все
of
играют в Lost Ark, я как смотрю, это вроде как просто Diablo
Are you
ММО на
related to
стероидах.
Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother.
Просто всем говорю, что Lost Ark
Gentlemen,
говно.
this news affects
А
us
если
all.
сейчас начну
But I must
играть
ask
в
you
Lost
to
Ark, то
remain
получается
calm.
я сам буду
It's not
жрать
the
говно
first
по
time
лобнику.
history has taken us by
Но
surprise.
вообще,
Let's ensure that our respective countries
даже
are
иногда
allowed to
хочется поиграть в
respond
него.
appropriately
Другое
to
дело,
this
что
news.
если я сейчас залипну в
Rest
ММОшку,
assured,
то это все
the
конец.
response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was
Вот,
preparing to
сказал
introduce you as
Лизи,
a
который играет в
and
классик
you've beaten
Вова.
me to it.
Вот
I'm delighted
вот
that
у вас,
we're
тебя,
all
Лизи,
together at last.
на рту не шоколад,
Our
ты не
meeting
думай.
will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another.
Кстати, не знаю,
When you
слышал
hear
ты вчера
the
или
bell,
нет.
please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Позавчера где-то в час ночи прогуливался по парку и вижу какой-то мудак-мудила. Мудак идет с бабой под ручку, еще и со собакой на поводке. Час ночи. Думаю, что-то знакомое выражение лица. Это оказался Доредик.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to
Решил
talk to
это
you
же
too.
поздороваться.
Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Так.
Hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem.
Доредик, почему у него такой ник?
We were even planning to work
Ну,
together.
это
That's what he was getting at.
дружбаня, с которой мы вот
Did
с Лизи
she
играли
tell you
в
about
Михачей.
our arrangement?
The cat's out of the bag now. More or less, but please do refresh my memory.
И
Yes, of
выбрал он
course.
такой ник, что он в
Nothing of
Warhammer
great
играет
importance in
за
itself.
орков.
During one of our
Орки все
discussions, she
красят в
spoke
красный
of an
цвет, потому
old
что красный
book,
быстрее
which
и
might have been of
сильнее.
interest to me,
Поэтому
and
Доред
she had
goes the
agreed to
fast.
let me have it.
A book about what?
Ancient occultism. As you are aware, I am a doctor of theology. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually locked. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only one.
The mere mention of it makes his face light up. Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this
Ты во всем, да, ты
book?
прав.
Well, it's
Но вообще в Warhammer орки
search
это
of a
грибы,
lifetime.
они не срут,
What can I say?
они
Every time I move closer
Просто
to it, it
произрастает
seems to slip
из
away
спор.
at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
Indeed. My mother and I had a brush with this individual just a few months ago.
What about?
About an object stolen from the Order a few years ago, which my mother wanted to recover.
Ah. This situation comes as a great surprise to me.
I got him now. I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wollner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wollner. You're the one who von Borchardt was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess. Lord Mortimer.
Oh, you are way off the mark. There's nothing more for us to say. Goodbye.
Сука. Ну ладно, тогда Холм. Вряд ли король Пруссии. Знаете, о чем говорится в записке? Какой?
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest.
Ну что, скоримский взлом?
All right. I've retrieved everything.
А, сука, больше что нельзя взять.
Hey, these look like pages taken from an ancient encyclopedia.
Что, Наполеон? Ладсток? Музерфака.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Кстати, Кархо, чем ты так болел, что аж в больничке полежал? Или у тебя это обследование?
Does expression go beyond the nightmare mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed. That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
В смысле? Да, это Наполеон еще в бытность лейтенантом.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
Не, это
His
не
reputation
Наполеон.
is enough for me.
Meaning?
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. His undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view.
Свобода Каталонии. Предстоящая свобода.
Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Well, I'll be leaving you now.
Кстати,
Shall we
Лиза,
meet
что
up
там
again later?
по
Wait,
этому
monsieur.
турниру?
Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you
Он
find her.
уже закончился или
А
еще
plus
там
tard, monsieur.
отборочные идут? Так, с Наполеоном поговорили. Наполеон бесполезен. Говорится, ты мне, сука, еще за Бородино ответишь. Так, туда можно выйти, окей. А что здесь? Здесь. Всё, совсем плохо.
Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You've caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation,
Там
given the
хоть какой-то
political
призовой фонд
situation in
есть или
Spain.
так?
I wonder what promise Lord Mortimer could have made to make him agree to come here, given the circumstances.
Who knows?
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the
Да,
coming
это
conference?
Вашингтон.
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
Да, музыка
What do you mean
такова.
by major
Здорово.
projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Окей.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend.
Кстати, Юджин, будешь покупать
Regarding your question on
Star
the
Wars
nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
То есть он вообще неофициальный, да? Без поддержки пираний и прочего.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Ну, я хочу к ней. Ясно. Так они же эти 2 ляма просто себе и оставят. Даже не будут... Даже не будут пытаться скрывать это, что они тупо оставят все эти 2 ляма. Типа как бы на разработку. Но мы-то знаем, что ни хрена-то они не делали. Так.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Так.
Your Eminence, I haven't been following the case. I'm sure that the Order did everything in its power. Unfortunately, you know the situation in Paris, and, well, it's chaotic at best. Anything can happen in those revolutionary tribunals.
The king is the official representative of God on earth, my son.
Your Eminence, France has become a secular state. The king was just another citizen to them. He refused to admit his errors, looked down upon
Блин,
them,
откуда эти
and attempted
бабочки?
to escape. What did he expect?
France has lost all reason, Louis.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
Так, спросить о ночном кошмаре.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Опять придется... Так.
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her. And in the background, a horse. I don't
Интересно,
know if it will
что
be of
этой
any help,
игры
but I
особо-то
can't
графена-то и нет, но при этом
You never know.
раны видяхи
Thank you for that, though, Your
орут
Eminence.
так же, как когда я играл
See it just in case, though.
в Гири 5.
I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
As to his faith, I have no doubt. However, his ambition seems to surpass his morality, and I hope that it will not sully the crown.
You can say that again. The blue eyes of the latest Infanta, Maria Isabel, have left everyone wondering.
Rumors always accompany men of power, Your Eminence.
Naturally. But the number of awards and titles granted by the Queen during these past 4 years leaves little doubt.
So, Godoy really is this out-and-out rascal who uses his charm on the Queen. Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of
Надо
your
найти
time.
меда, иначе
You
я
are
просто
welcome, my son.
затрахаюсь.
I will be seeing you, Louis.
Ну, тебе где этот кабинет? Как будто бы отборно.
The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Ладно. Хотя, блин. Блин, вот как хочется и чешется.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Так, там я... Новое. Эх, где бы раздобыть-то очков действия? А нигде.
The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Так. Нет места для говорить. Окей. Леса нам.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
А мне кажется, есть. Правый замок. Так. Остался только... Угу. Архив. Так. Так. Ну, пойдем повзламывать. Walter Walls. Нет, не играл, но я посматриваю стримы, вот там вот в Дискорде стримит смешарик. Вроде неплохое.
The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples.
Так. Человек-взломщик идет. А ты ее уже прошел?
Amber crystals.
Так, блок янтаря. Неплохо.
The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Так, надистомет.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Отлично, просто замечательно. Просто 10 из 10. Из первой локи, в смысле, из первой планеты, да? А кому ты электричество дал? Взломщик.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Нет места. Господи. Так. И бы что бы еще залутать? О. Я. Так, золотой эликсир, кстати. И все пенальти. Погнали. Это даже получилось. Вот там более-менее нейтральную концовку. Даже позитивно.
President George Washington.
Здесь должна быть лестница. Кабинет. Мгм. Так.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
О.
What do you want, Louis?
Значение гадоим.
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
The Queen of Spain likes to indiscreetly say, the King, Godoy, and myself make up the Holy Trinity. The people have appropriately renamed them the Goat, the Ruffian, and the Whore.
I didn't see you being a mudslinger in your idle hours, I must say. You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
Так, хотя давай спрошу собрание.
What do you want, Louis?
Emily, what can you tell me about the coming conference?
Sir Gregory and Lord Mortimer organize this kind of high society meeting every so often in order to consider the world situation.
But to what purpose?
Well, by bringing together the most influential people from the dominant nations of the modern world, they allow the mighty to discuss matters with calm clarity. There are precedents of armistices being signed at the end of these talks, you know. Talking while holding a glass of brandy makes things easier. You'll see. You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
Так, а где кабинет мужика? У него была лестница наверх, на 3-й этаж, насколько я помню. А вот и она. Ничего нет.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the night?
По-моему, болтовня это номер 1 во всех РПГ-хах.
The Book of the Mortimer family.
Так.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Много 4 букв.
A minor bird. Well, Waldo, is your master good? Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah?
Сара? Окей, попробуем Сара, кстати.
Let's take a closer look. Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals.
Взять конфету.
Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Кстати, на датировки картин, которые получают на время выставки. По масонскому календарю. Из каждой даты. 4000 из каждой даты. Марта, а не с января. Март?
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Так.
Carmelite water. The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Так. Снизу сдвигающий.
Might come in handy.
Так, а теперь мы сейчас поговорим с птицей. Так, сначала мы сдвинем.
Aha, I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Так, чувак, давай просто поговорим.
Mine a bird. Tell me the door code. Here I am talking to a bird. Shame on me.
Ладно.
Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting.
Сейчас мы сделаем птичку, кстати.
What have I done? It looks like I've killed him. Oh, shit. I better not hang around.
Сука, я думал, он сейчас скажет нам код.
Hey, there are two dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL. The two dates most likely relate to two calendars. The Gregorian calendar and the Freemason calendar.
Военное открытие. Так, больше не пользуется этим говном.
Hey, there are two dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
1-4, 1-1, 5-4, да?
There are two dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
5-4. марта, а не с января. То есть... 1, 1, 5, 3. Ладно. Так вот.
It's a complex mechanism. Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. It gets stuck on number 9. It's a complex mechanism.
Так.
Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. It gets stuck on number 9.
Ну и вот так вот.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Так, еще раз посмотреть колеса.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Так. Девятка заедает.
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anno Lucis.
Да, вот он.
5190. That's a funny date.
1-1. 9-0.
Doesn't work, damn it. I really thought I was close. 1190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4000? I must have missed a subtlety.
Таки да. Была подсказка про Марту.
Open sesame.
Нормас, тут у него комнатушка. Ну, тупо выручай комната.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Mortimer.
Хорошо, судить, что кто не владеет законом беглых храбрах в нынешнем виде. Я просто на национальном уровне, в каждом штате по отдельности между персональных движений. Так, ну это окей, это типа декларация об отмене рабства. Типография персональной скорости. Николай Новиков.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Окей.
This shows the forces present in America.
Ну, окей, изучим.
Some of those forces are pushing toward the west. On it, Mortimer's placed little feather symbols at different points, toward which the Spanish are headed. Could he be fueling Indian resistance to slow down Spain?
Дорогой друг, привет, благодарен вам за помощь в борьбе с испанцами и возвращении Орана. Корабль, идущий во французский Марсель, зафрахтован. На его борту находится несколько тел погибших от чумы, которые соответствуют нашей стране. Или сторожите в ящиками, если их чем накрыть, чем может быстро ходить всю Францию. Окей. Биологическое оружие, понятно. Дорогой друг, как вы просили, я собрал здесь, чтобы подписать предложенный договор. Это Вудским соглашением. Окей.
Golden elixir. Consume without excess.
Мой отец держит довольствие влиянием на Европу. Относится к коалиции против твоей любимой Франции. Не прямся. Всем шазлать. Твой брат. Г.
Looks like a campaign is being prepared in France in favor of Italy. Could Mortimer have decided to finance a war? It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants.
Так. Уже этот парень Лесадан Гитлер.
It's locked.
Это
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is his stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Так, камень. Камень есть. Что тут у нас?
Something strange about this table. The Little Surgeon's Perfect Collection. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then?
Так. Устойчивость наука. Окей. О, кстати. Отца, когда у секса.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably.
Или изменила ваш старый замок. Я, наверное, забыл замок, надеюсь, что он отплатит. Расположение, что... Окей.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid.
Не пиццен, что не красиво. И мудр. Окей.
That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me. It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Тигр умирает. Вашу просьбу мы направили на там, который всем англичан, которые могли не продержаться.
Some goat skulls, chicken legs, 3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
Так. Добрый доктор Франкенштейн. Так, ну это опять. Это.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science.
Fine.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Ну, окей, пробую. Что за коллекционные монеты? Сколько их у меня? 16. Так.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
Хирильки, хирильки, окей.
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Найдите способ выбраться, окей. Вряд ли там... Не то. Возможно, противоположную цифру этого замка. Но это не точно. Там же, по сути, это десятигранник, да? Он на обратной грани у этих цифр. Так, сейчас нужно зарисовать его. Надо зарисовать. Так, походу у единицы шестерка, да? Шестерка, у девятки. Эх, ну пробуем. Сторону воюешь, собака. Так, ага. То есть здесь будет 6. Ну, в смысле 9 как 6. Есть собака. Эх. Здесь. Или да. 1.9.1 там был, да? Вот так получилось.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Пустить.
Whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. These cylinders are driving me crazy. I got something wrong with my positioning?
Так. Может быть... да, я ж что-то протупил. Вот так вот. Так. Здесь есть трап, как говорится. То есть вот так вот выглядит, как 9.4.9.9. Вверх на голову. Ног на голову, пардон,
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Да, я.
Well, better not dwell on it then.
Так.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Написано Лангини, но на деле это похоже на это самое. На Зевса. Окей. Так. Так, ну. Сука, отравил птичку. Ну вот так и знал, что это за... Вот. 4 очка. Итак. Чтобы мне вкачать. Логика. Можно логику вкачать? Чтобы таки да. Языкознание. В принципе, да. Вот так вот.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. All right, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
You're joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them. We must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long has he been trying to collect all the spears?
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
Aha. I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, Why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
I didn't mean to spy on you, but you caught my attention. Please excuse me if I interrupt, gentlemen. I didn't want to disturb you. Please, carry on. Your Eminence, you were talking about the Holy Spear, if I remember correctly. The one that killed Christ on the cross. Is that right?
Indeed, Louis. I was just telling Mr. von Wagner about the Lord Mortimer's keen interest in the relic. He's been collecting them for years in the hope that he'll find the real one.
Enough! Please leave us, monsieur. His Eminence and I wish to finish our discussion alone.
Вот собака прусская. Так, надо выйти на улицу. Тоже понял, что типа меч закрыто. Меч со следами улицы. Так, где?
I am sorry, sir, but the conference room is under preparation and is consequently
Русский.
inaccessible.
Не, он не русский, он прусак.
Could you perhaps help me?
What can I do for you, sir?
Where did this sword come from?
From the garden, sir. That sword belongs to one of the statues in the garden.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it, sir.
Sword probably came from this garden, but
Да, думаю, можно
what could it have been
называть.
used for?
Почему бы и нет, как говорится. Так, так, так.
Golden elixir.
Нет места для золотой эликсир. Нет.
Well, Monsieur de Richet, what brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur Peru. Will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I bid you good luck. You'll need it.
Окей. Заодно залутаем эликсирчик.
Golden elixir.
Меня это горло доконает. Так. Веревка. Или Бигфордов шнур.
Ariadne.
Да нет, нет,
In
Ариадна
Greek
с
mythology, she
пряжей.
helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. I guide the sword that will kill the monster. Let's see. What's going to happen if I've got it wrong?
Так, если я ошибся... А я ошибся. Зачем я ее убил?
Try something else.
Меч, скорее
Here's the
всего.
famous Ariadne's thread, thanks to which, if I remember rightly, Theseus avoided
Minotaur.
getting lost in the labyrinth.
Так. Ищем Насуса, короче, чтобы вонзить в него меч.
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. she has no cracks. All right, let's continue anyways.
Женщина без трещин, деньги на вид.
I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there.
Так.
What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism.
Изучить.
Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Так. Ну, это явно лестница вниз. Я уже раз.
It looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it. It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities.
Так, ну идем по канатику. Так, микропитун. Ангел.
Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. It's as long as a finger. I'd say between 6 and 8 centimeters.
Мне кажется, все не так легко, как кажется. Так, посмотрим, что еще есть.
Great. Honey. Minos. Son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue.
Так, а вот, скорее всего, да, не в Тесее, а вот в этого мужика.
Theseus. Let's try something else instead.
Он же отец Минотавра, да?
The crack is in the region of the heart.
И... идем к беседке. Баттон. Так, нажать. Ловушки похлеще, чем подземной лаборатории Амбрелла.
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
Да.
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out.
А вот нефиг пить опий с левыми бабами.
That's the third time in 3 days.
Погнали.
Let's see if you're in there, Mother.
О, янтарь.
Amber crystal. Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes. There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself.
Если ей оттяпали руку, то с такой кровопотерей ей...
I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there.
Ну, в общем, ей не очень хорошо. Говорят о том, что она от болевого шока могла уже...
A Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember right... Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Таки слуга или опять твоя матушка?
Don't move! Wait, I'm not armed.
Who are you?
Good God, Mother, what have you...
Tell me who you are.
Старая корга. Сына родного не признал. Так. Так. Чего бы мне прокручать? Политика нет. Логика, да. Это мне... Эх, наука, оккультизм. Я буду вором, крысы из инвиза. Так, еще один эпизод пройден. Окей. Пройдем сегодня, наверное, третий, или хотя бы половину третьего, и закончим, наверное, сегодня.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the
Грязная
same. We have
пицца.
officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. don't forget where you are, please.
Так. Лиайфан, кстати, прикольное произведение. Хитрость. Эрудиция. Давайте его и прочтем. Хитрость. Стой. Забыл еще одно поставить. Программирование для чайников, а не завезли Юджин. Программирование для чайников, увы.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around. Oh my God, Mother, what has happened to you?
Who are you?
What? But, Mother!
Who are you?
It's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie. You won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have come here.
Mother, I don't know what you've been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
Так.
Let's go, Mother. Let's go home.
In all my heart, there's nothing I want more. But I know you won't let me leave. You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's me, Louis.
Don't speak to me about him. You will never get him.
Mother, stop torturing yourself. It really is me, Louis. How can I convince you?
If you really are who you say you are, what was the saying I taught you?
You've been telling it to me since I was 3 years old, Mother. How could I ever forget it? Always keep your mind rational. And open.
You knew it. You are smart. You're getting me muddled up. Tell me, rather, whose place were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
Бёркер, по-моему, да?
I just told you, you can't trick me. His name was von Borchert.
My God, everything is lost then. I refuse to believe it's really you, Louis.
Старая кошелка.
Otherwise, all this would be for nothing.
Mother, I don't know what happened to you, but don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. I'm here for you and...
No! I ordered you not to come with me.
I received a letter and Lord Mortimer informed me of your disappearance. So I took the...
No! 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 It's not true. It's a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer. It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Mother, I don't know what you're imagining, but don't worry. Everything will be all right. If you're worried about what I might think about Elizabeth Adams, honestly...
Oh, Louis! Elizabeth is the last of my worries right now. I did what I could for her, but it was too late. Very well. Rational and
разбили
since you arrived on the island, has
ебучку и оттяпали
Depends on what you mean
левую
by
руку.
strange. Like me having visions, for example?
I knew it! It started! Oh,
Hell,
Louis,
she's
I just
panicking.
wish I...
Yes, it's happened to me. Like when I was a boy. I find myself in someone else's body for the space of a dream.
Have you ever dreamed of a different place to the one where you were sleeping without being able to explain it?
No. But Mother, don't worry. I'm not losing my mind. Everything is fine. You used to give me a concoction to
Но если
calm me
она упала,
down when I
ударилась
was
о
little.
стол какой-нибудь, то
So,
кто оттяпал ей
just make some
кисть
for me
руки?
once we get back home.
Migraines? Loss of consciousness? Loss of control?
No, rest assured. All is well. I promise you.
What else?
Everything I found in Lord Mortimer's secret study.
You managed to get past the nightmare? I'm proud of you, Louis. But that's not what I meant by strange.
He's nevertheless extending his influence across the world, Mother.
I know, but that's not what concerns me right now. I asked you if anything strange has happened to you personally.
Ну да, наверное, да.
Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to
Что-нибудь
help
острое
her.
за газонокосилку?
You mean the voices that she claimed to hear?
Look, this is neither the place nor the time to speak about it. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something of utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's guests have arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Since this morning.
Perfect. The conference will be able to begin.
Indeed. It shouldn't be long and...
Let me finish. We haven't time. You will attend this conference, and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis. Understood?
But what's it about?
No matter. I'd wager it's about a vast acquisition of some territory in North America. This, however, is not the
Аляски?
issue.
But don't you think that...
Да,
Louis,
Аляски?
I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den.
What do you mean?
Mortimer, Holm, their guests. Watch what happens. Do you think it's
Или
normal
Мексики.
that the representatives
Кусочки
of the
Мексики.
most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but...
Louis! They shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders. Open your eyes!
Mother, calm yourself, please.
Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable
Ну,
of
если честно, мне
everything,
теория заговора в
wherever
Deus
they
Ex
may
намного
be.
больше
Through high
нравилась. Там
society
вот прямо на
banquets,
кончиках
they
пальцев
modeled
все
the future of
было
us
сделано.
all, and it isn't at all an issue for them.
Да прямо ощущаешь себя ничтожеством, которое вообще ничего
Time
не
to
решает.
act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after...
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going.
Скот каблук, да?
One more thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and...
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Так, теперь нужно выбраться с этого. Так, стой.
Indeed, I rather believe he did, I had some respect to any other
I have suspected it for some time.
That does seem safe.
Так. Мы начинаем с нашего любимого, с коммуниздения всего, чего припрятано плохо.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry
Так.
being spoken to.
But it is not sound.
Всего лишь мед.
Oh, it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time.
Метка. Янтарь.
But with respect to any other leading characteristic, I do not imagine much has been known for it.
That does seem safe. But however, it may all come to nothing.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference. I hope I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Indeed, I rather believe
Ладно, пойдем к этому чудаку.
But with respect to any other leading characteristic, I do. Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
Это как это фильм там, ублюдский, взломать
If the
блогера.
project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Ладно, пошли.
Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
Lord Mortimer, I'm sure you're aware that Louisiana is hardly prime quality land.
Тут согласен.
I would be
Болото, болото.
exaggerating to call it marshland. How is acquiring land they won't know what to do with going to strengthen the United States?
Think further, Louis. The United States won't stop there. Once they've acquired Louisiana, nothing will stop them. All they would have to do then is keep pushing toward the west to take the whole North American continent.
So you intend to get rid of the Spanish?
They are purely transitory. This is the settlers' home. It is natural for them to want to develop their nation to become one of the greatest powers of this world. As for the Spanish, there are just a handful of them actually on site. And if need be, we'll see to it that they are sufficiently occupied
Вот почему они того Колда
so
пригласили,
that their
чтобы он
focus
на
is
королеву
not on the North
повоздействовал.
American continent.
Окей.
Moreover, Spain really only cares about its colonies in South America. It's hardly my fault if they are not capable of seeing the potential in the North American territories. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Okay.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
Чувак, тебя поимела тетка с разбитой башкой.
My
Или
friends,
скорее
I
усопила.
propose we get started.
Ты в политику суешься.
First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Выселить
Manuel,
из
you're not
Паш.
going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Так, говорить за души.
Thank you all. I am honored to be among you today. I will strive to represent the interests of the Order as best I can.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a
Я
dream
решил
that
промолчать.
our nations will
Я буду
continue to support
Онежкой.
each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do
Все
what
равно мы
it
его
takes
сейчас
to
используем
ensure
как
stability
презерватив
in the
и
modern world. I have a
выкинем.
dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer. But I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining two-thirds of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
It obviously doesn't stop you from sleeping at night.
Not in the least. Do not imagine I have anything against the American Indians or the blacks. That is not the question. But business is business. It is the natural order of things, Monsieur de Richet. There have always been men who govern other men. That is simply the way it is.
And it might as well be the likes of you who rule. Is that right?
But of course.
Come now, my friends. Let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits.
Он втайне переправлял Мортимера больных чумой.
I shall continue. Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
We are neighbors, Duke Manuel. Remember, your main rival in Europe is more likely to be England, who is plowing the seas right up your coastline. Hand over Louisiana to France and make her a prime ally.
Come, Louis. Spain and Great Britain are already allies and have nothing to gain by breaking their alliance.
Even if I do agree, Duchess, the omnipresence of the English fleet in Atlantic waters does not particularly please me.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations The perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Так, ну, воспользуемся.
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be bleeding priests as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be concerned at seeing such a large territory falling into the hands of the French. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare you!
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Ладно, я останусь
As for me,
с Дартом
I shall
Сидиусом.
remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Просто чтобы разузнать у него побольше, втереться в доверие, так сказать.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really gonna sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
Mr. President, Lord Mortimer intends for you to conquer all the North American continent. He's relying on you to not stop at Louisiana, but to continue to push west.
Indeed, it would be dishonest to pretend that this is not my final objective.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So that Lord Mortimer would appear to be isolated without support.
Exactly. You got it, Louis.
Lord Mortimer retains the advantage by advancing undercover, and for it to work, he needed you to act surprised.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
1 step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Да-да-да. А вас я попрошу остаться?
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Signor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe
По-моему,
in you.
Годоя перекупили уже, точнее на него
Lord Mortimer,
давит
you're
прусский
not telling me everything.
министр
Let's say
и англичанка.
I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honourable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Signor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards.
Про птичку забыл,
Big
кстати.
day tomorrow.
А птички-то между тем хана. Так, нужно зайти к Годою. Так, ну, и он упал. Просто как вспомнить, где он живет. Поле уснул, да.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Так, настало время геймплея, а именно очистить все здесь подчистую.
Golden elixir.
Так.
The Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment. Very metaphorical as occult theories go. The human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist.
Пока забудем об этом. Рад, что мы сможем встретиться. Я ни секунды не сомневался, что решение возьмет. Ну да, я говорил, вот они с англичашкой тут что-то задумали.
A cache.
Не, ну кровать, конечно, царская.
The alchemist is an old man. Amber crystals.
Ну, пока все. Пойдем чистить вилочкой дальше. А, это комната этого безумный поехавший.
August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth.
Да.
August 24th, June 11th, 1791.
Здесь ничего не изменилось. Пишет этот фронт Пашка.
President George Washington.
Так, теперь будем грабить Америку.
Locked. The president's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, he can't go without it. Ah, there's also a letter.
Говорили ваше здоровье, до того, как уехали, никаких изменений не последует. Прошу, на стой копии. Я уже ищу на месяц. Ну, мандат. Окей, то есть президент Норкуман.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place.
Да. Ну, что-то как-то скромненько. Итак, комната... Не, это комната Джорджа Вашингтона. Дайте мне что-нибудь еще украсть, Алекс. Главное, не пойман, не вор. Так, где же тут Ильяшка-то? Физическая не открываемая дверь.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Так, Piaggi, да. Комната.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
I've searched all over the manor, but I can't find him.
One thing's for sure, Monsieur de Richet. He's neither in his room nor on this floor. I've just looked all over.
I propose we both look for him. The first to find him tells the Duke that the other is also looking for him. Agreed?
Perfect. Let's do that. I shall have a look in the library. If you find the Duke before me, tell him I want to speak to him.
Yes. Let's proceed as you say.
Thank you, Monsieur de Richet.
Отлично, от немца избавились.
Right. Now be a good boy and go look somewhere else. Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. It looks like someone's hidden something on the back of this painting. It's a letter. Of course, it's written in Spanish. And it reeks of lavender. Well, well, Mr. Godoy, you seem very interested in hiding this letter. Another secret romance, I presume?
Так, нужно 4, но мы вот так вот сделаем.
So, let's see what it says.
Сокровище мое, прости, что снова пришлось уехать, пускай и ради благополучия моей страны. Мне разрывается сердце от того, что мы расстались в ссоре, потому что ты любовь всей моей жизни, Жозефа. Ты же знаешь всем, что мне есть и что я могу больше к ногам, я обязан королеве. Останься со мной, прошу тебя, ради нашей любви, ради наших будущих детей. Не ревнуй, молю. Мои мысли только о тебе, а все остальное не больше, чем фарс.
It seems the Queen isn't the only one enjoying the Lord Duke's favors. If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know.
Так, мы нашли, чем его шантажировать.
Manuel Godoy, a painting of himself in his room. Now that's not going to help him develop a sense of modesty.
Так. Его реально, что ли, здесь нет? О! Вичай говорит, что убийца некий Петридис.
Amber.
Главный герой. Но это был, кстати, поворот.
Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
Так, а Вичай указывает на Петридиса. Кажется, что-то не сходится. Так, нам надо найти этого Уирл.
That's me.
Так, я побежал обратно. Кого-то убили? Ну, как минимум, одного слугу мамаша наша огрела по башке, и он валяется без сознанки.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Так, рассыпано.
Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off, and his door is ajar. A pattern with 4 circles.
Dear
кармане.
Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent.
Вор найден, точно, да.
Crucial for
the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre, I have no space left. I'll retrieve. Dear Monsieur, I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Так. Успокоился чисто своими мыслями, что жить как скучаю по тебе, бла-бла-бла. Отец, окей, это дочери. Вор, как говорится, должен сидеть.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Так. Главное, чтобы нас не застукали за за тем, чем мы занимаемся. Ну, началось. Теперь показания еще друг на друга начните давать. Так, ладно, нужно наверняка спуститься вниз. Наверняка где-то в столовке ошивается. Подвину кресло. Табуретку. Стул.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
I'm looking for someone. Tell me at least who's in there so I don't needlessly go looking around for hours.
Duchess Hillsborough is speaking with Sir Gregory, sir. The other guests have gone back to their rooms through the other side.
Can you tell me where I can find Duke Manuel, please?
Alas, I do not know, sir. I can only assure you he is not in the small salon.
Very well. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Так, он не в малой гостиной. Давай,
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
Have you seen Duke Manuel?
The Duke is in the dining room, sir.
Отлично.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
Так, столовая, это нет столовая. Банан, душегубы. Было. Так.
Duke Manuel?
Well, Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
Так. Используй вот это.
The Golden Order, my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France. We are President of the United States, England, and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out. You'll see,
once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away. The Order is an international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you're right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
Так, ну, как говорится, раз уж начали, то...
Duke Manuel, for Spain, I don't know. But for you, I'm convinced that Lord Mortimer will thank you generously.
You would not be trying to bribe me, would you?
Nothing could be further from my mind. It would be an insult to believe that someone such as yourself might have a practical attitude towards its virtue. Even so, it is only natural that you be supported and encouraged if you were to follow Lord Mortimer, isn't it?
Indeed, for services rendered, it would be natural for me to receive compensation for the time spent achieving such an undertaking, yes?
Naturally. And, given your status, my Lord Duke, the compensation would have to be considerable.
Naturally. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
Так. Сейчас мы проверим. Так, не то. Ну, наверное, вот это.
You unshackle yourself from Sir Gregory, who, let's face it, takes up a lot of space.
What are you talking about?
My friend, I'm guessing that you wouldn't mind getting a little freedom from the overbearing control he exerts?
I would never have gotten where I am today without him. He is an influential man who is true to his word and who has always given me his full attention.
But he obliges you to...
That's enough. I will not allow you to stab him in the back. Sir Gregory is a respectable gentleman, and your petty manipulations have no effect on me. If that is your only argument, then you are on the wrong track.
Okay.
Duke Manuel, you have everything to gain.
I cannot see what, actually.
Well,
Сам
if
напросился.
the Queen found out where your heart really lies, she might well become very unhappy.
What do you mean?
It's not inconceivable that a letter written by your own hand might have come into my possession, in which you declare such love to Pepita that even I became moved.
You've been in my room.
And I'm afraid that if by some misfortune this letter ended up in the hands of the Queen, she also would be moved.
You thieving.
Come now, my Lord Duke. We're all gentlemen here. I'm convinced it's not going to happen. Or will it?
That is blackmail, you bastard! You have no idea of the consequences!
Lord Mortimer knows how to look after his friends. Don't you worry about Sir Gregory. You're protected. Have no fear.
Come on, you fool. Give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke.
Бабочек
You can
ночью
count
нет.
on me. Lord
Это
Mortimer
моль.
will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke.
See you tomorrow. Well, that's one thing out of the way. The only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume
Так,
tomorrow
ну что,
morning.
спать? Отправляйтесь в постель, окей? Блин, чувствую себя мелким французским сатаной. Так.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Свободно.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
А я.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
Так, ну давай узнаем.
Do you perhaps know something that I don't? Come on, Emily. It's time you lay your cards on the table. If you know something I don't about Lord Mortimer, now's the time.
I don't want to speak ill of him, but in certain circles, you can't exactly say he has a good reputation.
Continue.
Well, there have been instances where he has used people, then gotten rid of them once he no longer seemed to need them, Louis. He makes fine promises, makes you feel valuable, tests you. But beware. I'm worried that something might happen to you.
Are you advising me to change sides as a precaution?
I'd rather say as a safety measure. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily. You know you have my full trust.
Louis, you're lying. That's not good. Any more of that and I might get upset. Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Okay.
I admit, you've sown the seed of doubt. But I don't know how Lord Mortimer's gonna take my last-minute change of mind.
Don't worry yourself about that, really. It's only discussions and verbal jousting. No one's going to die, whatever happens, and Sir Gregory will be there to support you.
Very well. You can count on me to join your side then. But don't tell anyone until the vote.
Promise. We'll make a good team, you'll see.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Still nothing. And you? Any news of your sister?
No, but knowing her, I'm persuaded she's on someone's trail. You'll see. She'll surprise us all.
If only you knew, Emily. You're right. We must remain positive. I'm sure it won't be long before she turns up.
My thoughts too. She is Duchess Hillsborough, after all.
And as such, she is capable of anything.
I am sure that you'll appreciate her. You'll see.
No doubt about that.
And it might turn out that you prefer her to me. Who knows?
Затроллить бабу или не затроллить? Ладно, не
Rest
буду.
assured, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure she's very nice, but there is only one Emily Hillsborough.
We shall see. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Сука, за живое задело. Мразь английская.
Come, Louis.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough, why isn't she here? She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her.
What are we going to do about Washington?
He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king.
Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing: to keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim.
He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Опять видение, блин, как в этом самом.
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Я уже забыл название, говорит, про кто. Синки Сити.
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Duke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Godoy?
Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string!
Jacques, really?
Let's end the charade! It's over!
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Да-да-да-да, нужно продочь.
Jack, don't do it. You're a father. You owe it to...
You bastard!
Я получил пулю. Охуеть. В смысле, да. Да. Да, я. Речка навык. Ну, на сегодня, пожалуй, закончу на этой прекрасной ноте. Пойдет эта заставка и пойду уже тоже отдыхать.
Louis, are you awake? Ah, it looks like he's coming around.
You gave us a mighty fright, sir.
A veritable force of nature. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
That's a Sarah's boy, all right.
Slowly, Louis. Take your time.
Mr. President? I've got a bat.
Careful, you haven't fully recovered.
You've had rather a close call, Louis. We're all relieved to see you back with us. My friends, this is a great relief to us all. But please, let Louis recover now. See you later. Get some rest.
Так, доступные допрос, ловкость, эрудиция. Ловкость. Ну, а так. Так, ну, спасибо, кто смотрел. Завтра продолжу. До завтра. Спокойной ночи всем.